Hey guys, this is Tia Bryant for City Schools TV on a new web series we're calling The New School. Coming to you guys from my home during quarantine, trying my best to maintain my social distance, but I want to get the perspective and thoughts from our community and how they're dealing with everything. Right now, I'm joined by Theresa Bruce, a teacher from KIPP Baltimore, who is here to share as much as she can about Google Classroom, one of the most used platforms for our students during distance learning. So, Ms. Bruce, thank you for joining us so much. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a Friday. I'm very excited to be here.
So can you tell me a little bit about how the first week of distant learning went?
It went pretty well. I do have the good fortune of having taught with the Google Classroom platform since 2014. So my scholars were already or are already versed in using this platform. So that part was the easy part for us. That was business as usual in terms of assigning work and giving feedback. However, what was more challenging was this virtual learning thing that we're doing right now, figuring out how we're going to engage each other through the video conferences and meetings. That I'm still working on learning.
So for a lot of the parents and maybe even some of the students, this has been like the first big exposure to Google Classroom. What do you find exciting about that?
That our district and that our families are now able to leverage technology. So I'm a big believer in mastery-based learning or proficiency-based learning, meaning you don't move on until you literally master that standard. And I think that moving towards a platform like Google Classroom can allow teachers to individualize instruction more as well as the assignments that they're giving, and to move towards that mastery-based model. I'm just really excited that technology is being used in the field of education so that students can be the most successful.
And I feel like, especially this generation, a lot of students are more tech savvy and they rely on their technology to get work done. So I guess with quarantine, it has kind of some perks. We get to use like what we're familiar with.
I agree.
Yeah, I think of Google Classroom, one of my personal favorite like things Google Classroom has is a classwork button where it has like all of the assignments lined up and you can see all the due dates and stuff like that. I just wanted to know what was one of your favorite features about Google Classroom.
The email feature, actually. So under the People tab, if you go into the Google Classroom at the top where it says People, if I want to email a certain group of students or even their parents, I can do that en masse, and it masks their emails from each other, even though they already have them. But I really like that feature. And also, I'm going to give two. I also really love the parent guardian summaries. A lot of times when we think about technology, we need to include our families. And the guardian summaries allow for parents, when they provide their email, to get weekly or daily summaries on what's going on in the classroom, those due dates and things like that. So I really enjoy that feature as well for home school communication.
I actually didn't know that Google Classroom had that email feature, so I just learned something new myself. So what are some things that you've been doing to keep students motivated to complete their assignments and just generally stay engaged with their classwork?
To be quite honest, talking to them. So I communicate with my students via text. At our school, every student has access to all of the teachers' phone numbers and email addresses. So I can reach out to a student directly if their parent has consented to that form of communication, or I can reach out to the parents and say, hey, just kind of check in. And students knowing that I care about them beyond their academics really makes a difference. They're excited to know that I care about them and their families, and that leads into the motivation because it shows that I care about them as a whole person. It also helps, though, to be honest, when you post an assignment, they get the email. Or if they have the Google Classroom app on their phone, they'll see that something was posted. And for many of them, that serves as a motivation to get the work done because they see it immediately.
Right. So do you have any advice that you would give parents who aren't that familiar with this type of platform or just technology, period, when it comes to trying to stay updated with what their students actually doing, because they might not know that they're not putting assignments in on time? So what advice would you give parents so they can stay updated?
I would actually say to reach out to the teacher and have your email address added so that they can receive daily or weekly guardian summaries. So it will tell them daily or weekly, whichever one they choose, if their scholar has turned in an assignment. It will say missing or turned in.
All right, so that is all the time that we have for today. But I wanted just to say a quick thank you so much for joining me for this interview and taking time out of your social distancing to answer a few of my questions.
You're more than welcome. It was such a great time. Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to say a huge thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in today. Be sure to stay safe. This has been Tia Bryant for City Schools TV, coming to you guys from my screen to yours during quarantine. See you next time.